The Mysterious Disappearance. Schoolchildren vanished after talking to a stranger. This happened on January 29th, 2007, when the quiet, familiar life of the residents of Los Angeles was shaken by a horrifying and shockingly bold crime. A crime that, even after 17 years, remains unsolved. It was a Monday around 3 p.m. when classes for fourth graders ended. The teacher escorted the children to the locker room. They dressed and then went home. Nothing unusual happened. It's important to note that at that time, after-school activities officially lasted only until 3 p.m., even though by law they were supposed to continue until 5 p.m., releasing children, especially young ones, before the designated time was technically prohibited. But for some reason, it was done on that day. After leaving school, a group of 3 children, 10-year-olds Jack Smith, Emily Johnson, and Lisa Taylor, lingered in the yard between 2 residential buildings, numbers 15 and 17, on Hollywood Boulevard. According to one of their teachers, they were ordinary, well-behaved children who never caused trouble. Emily had transferred to the school midway through first grade, while Jack had been there since the beginning. Almost his entire family had attended that school, so the teachers knew the Smith family well. They remembered that they were honor students, and their photos hung on the honor roll. Looking at a map of Los Angeles, you can see that the yard on Hollywood Boulevard, where the children stopped, was an ordinary residential courtyard. The school was only 328 feet away from this spot. Today, these buildings house the offices of a local radio station and a political party branch, making the area quite lively. But despite this, what happened next remains a terrifying mystery. The children were simply standing and talking when, around 3:10 p.m., an unfamiliar man approached them. He was of average height, about 35 to 40 years old, wearing a dark winter coat and worn-out jeans. It's unclear whether he had been watching them beforehand or if it all happened spontaneously. Either way, the man confidently started a conversation with the children. He introduced himself as a director from New York and said he was filming a movie about space, for which he was looking for child actors for leading roles. The children were thrilled with the idea of acting a film and eagerly joined the conversation. Throughout the exchange, the man remained calm and composed. He asked them in detail about their ages, where they went to school, and who their parents were. Seeing their interest, the stranger suggested taking some photos to see if they were suitable for the roles. He offered to do a photo shoot either at a studio or at one of their homes. Upon learning that all their parents were home, they decided to go to the studio. During the conversation, Lisa Taylor, the most cautious of the 3, felt uneasy and asked the director why he was speaking directly to them and not their parents. He immediately replied that he would contact their parents later when it came to financial matters, such as the actors' fees, but for now, they needed to go through the audition. Emily Johnson was the first to agree to go to the audition. Jack Smith, though hesitating, decided to support his friend and went with her. Lisa, however, declined, saying she had to go to music school. She later recalled that the man didn't try to persuade her to come along. He simply took Emily and Jack by the hands, and they walked toward Rose Street, presumably to a parked car. Lisa went home alone. After walking about 164 feet, she looked back, but her friends and the man had already disappeared. Only Lisa's testimony remained, becoming the primary source of information for the investigation. News of the missing children spread within a few hours when they failed to return home from school. Law enforcement immediately began a large-scale search operation, involving not only local police officers, but also personnel from other parts of California. A total of about 1,000 people participated in the search. Helicopters were used to assist. A criminal case was opened under Section 126, Part 2 of the U.S. Criminal Code, kidnapping. The city administration offered a $20,000 reward for any reliable information about the children's whereabouts. Later, the amount was increased to $40,000. As part of the search operation, basements, water bodies, and underground tunnels were thoroughly examined. A large part of the city was combed. In the following days, every local news station started with updates on the missing children, and their photos were shown during commercial breaks. The children's faces were posted in local stores and government buildings. A composite sketch of the suspect was made, which led to interrogations of over 100 men who resembled him. 6 suspects were detained, but all were soon released. According to neighbors, the children's parents didn't leave their homes during this time. They didn't talk to anyone and were completely devastated. Later, they gathered the strength to make a desperate appeal to the kidnapper on live television, asking for their children's release. Here's the plea from Sarah Smith, Jack's mother. Dear people, I am reaching out to you. If anyone knows anything or has seen something, please don't be afraid to speak up. Have pity on our broken hearts. Our children are a part of us. It is unbearable to live in uncertainty and separation. I am also addressing the people who are holding our children. If you see me, I beg you, release our children. A reward has been announced. Any conditions will be met. Just let us know. The children know our home phone numbers. Please don't harm their innocent souls. They're just children. Jack's father, Robert Smith, also spoke out. Listen, if you have anything human in you, release the children and leave. If you need money, call us and tell us. We will do whatever is needed. Everything you ask for will be given to you. You also have a mother, don't you? But there was no response. Despite the extensive search, there was no real progress in the case. Officially, Emily Johnson and Jack Smith are still considered missing, and the search for them continues to this day. However, almost everyone believes they have long been dead. Had they survived, they would have turned 28 in 2024. Still, despite the grim reality, many still hope to someday learn what really happened to them after they followed a stranger into the unknown. I hope this helps. Let me know if you need further changes or adjustments.